Good afternoon. So 4 years back, when I decided to try a new idea for Intel in India, the idea was looking at local market innovation. Intel being a global company, looking at global products, the interest to really look at an India market was not as high. And the reason I came up with the idea 4 years back was we had thousands of engineers at the Intel India organization who had plenty of interesting ideas for the India market, but we couldn't do much about it. Second, we didn't want all the decisions to keep going up to headquarters in Santa Clara and slow down. It's like, innovating for the emerging markets is like innovating for the fashion industry. By the time you innovate, if it's more than 3 or 6 months, the fashion has moved on. Same thing for the emerging markets. So you need the decision to be very fast. And third, Intel wanted to look at how to open up new product segments and new market segments, and this was a great opportunity. So that was the idea behind it. And I'll just talk a little bit about what the experience has been so far. So the areas that we looked at, one is, should we have products that are really unique to an India market or an emerging market? As an example, Baidu, which in China is the search engine that's used for the internet, that's in the Chinese language. So anything language-related would be unique to a market. As an art example, actually now you got saris in India. I don't know how many people know saris. People know saris? Yeah, this is what women wear as a unique Indian garment. So now you got saris which have a special holder for your cell phones. And that's kind of a designer pocket for cell phones. That's a unique innovation that would go into an emerging market or India market. The second category is adopted, where you have a global product already, and then you look at an emerging market need and you adjust what you need to do, right? And the example I've shown is the Nokia phone, where Nokia took their regular phone and just added the ability to have a torch. In India, electricity is a problem, right? You don't have continuous electricity, and electricity keeps going out. So the torch is one of the most used features in a phone, because mobile, it's available anytime in your pocket, and you can use it for light. So that's an example of adopted. Same thing with McDonald's. When they went to India, they had to come up with new ways of really winning business, right? The vegetarian burger, as well as using lamb instead of beef. So those would be examples of adopted ideas or adopted innovation. And the third is global, where you really start with the requirements for the emerging market, where you understand the needs of the emerging market. And when you've come up with the product or the solution that can be used globally. And the example I've shown is the GE's, the ECG, mobile ECG, personal ECG machine. And that's the first time they came up with something which was 10x cheaper, as well as you can take it anywhere and take ECG signals. And that's now being used beyond the shores of India. And again, if you want to take an art example, Bollywood, which is the Indian movie industry, it started off uniquely for the Indian population, but clearly now it's gone beyond the shores of India. That would be an example of something you innovated in the emerging market, then it becomes global. So those are the kind of categories to look at. And then being an engineer for almost 14 years before I took on the Intel India role, I had to create a model. And the model that we came up for the emerging market was looking across the hardware, software, solution, services, business model, and then looking at what it takes in winning the emerging market. Because this is a pretty technical slide, I want to give you a quick analogy to the Kelton instrument that was played. Anybody coming up with an innovative Kelton instrument, that would be something like a hardware. Very hard to do, takes time, takes effort. And then software would be the songs that you play on the instrument. You come up with the songs. Solution would be an album that you would create by playing on the instrument. Service is building teachers, faculty who can teach you how to play the instrument. And then the business model is how can you take this instrument beyond the shores of where it was innovated and really building the partnerships and giving concerts. So that's the kind of model you can think of and apply even for a product. So the R&D, the cost involved to really build that product is the highest in the hardware. Business model is kind of the lowest cost. You can quickly come up with business models. Similarly, time to market, hardware is lowest. It takes a while to really get the product completed and to the market. And the business model is the fastest. You can actually build a quick business model, build some relationships, and go to market very fast. Similarly, scaling. In hardware, it's much harder to scale. It takes a lot of time to get to a large footprint of getting your hardware proliferated, whereas the business model scales very fast from a scale perspective. And then the entry barrier, it's very easy for people to copy the business models, but very hard to copy the hardware piece of it. So 3 things that you need to be focused on from an emerging market perspective. One is you need to have immersive exploration. You need to be in the eyes of the consumer, really be part of the consumer world to understand what you want to innovate. And that allows you to quickly come up with the business model, the services solution, the top pieces of the solution that you need to develop. The second thing you need to be able to do is business first, product last. In an emerging market, it's all about building the business first and using whatever technology and the products you already have, because it takes a lot of time to develop the product, and you typically miss the market if you take too long. So it has to be business first, product last. And the third most important thing is the adapt fast. You've heard about failing fast. You've heard about learning fast. And you need to also collaborate very fast. And that's adapt fast. You fail fast, learn fast, collaborate fast, and that means you're adapting fast. That's very important for the emerging markets. So I just want to give you an example of what we did in the group. This is the first product that we came up with. This is a universal handheld device that allows you to take banking to the doorstep of every villager in India. So you can actually go do banking transactions at a villager's residence because they really don't have bank access. They'll have to travel almost 8 hours or 7 hours sometimes to actually reach a bank. And this allows them to have the banking solution at hand, at the doorstep. And this is very modular, so it can be modified to suit the needs of each of the states or each of the countries that need to use it. So that's an example of adapt fast, where we made it very modular. And the second example I want to quickly touch upon is this lighting for livelihood. This is a company called Celco in India. And they have taken these solar photovoltaic cells and figured out how to make this affordable and available through a lot of business model innovation, trying to look at how financial support can be provided to make it affordable for the villagers in India. So that's basically what I had to say. Thank you very much, and have fun at the conference.